can you do with 240 pencils and a little bit over 20 ounces of resin? Haha. Finally, I made my own pencil pot, so now I can stop watching other people's videos, jealously wishing that I had one. Hope you guys liked the video. Hey, what's up everybody? This is one of those projects that I think most of us have seen on YouTube. A lot of people have done it. And honestly, it was one of those projects that I thought was really cool. You know, it was colored pencils, and I like the way that everybody else's looked, so I kind of wanted to give it a try. The hardest thing was definitely finding affordable color pencils. And wow, this took a really, really long time. You know, I used to love putting multiple pencils together and drawing, so I really couldn't resist seeing what that was like. That would have been really cool to actually do an art project with this many colored pencils. Ta-da! Alright, so I wanted to put resin, was going to be holding all of this together, and I figured the colored resin would look pretty cool. So I picked this kind of rosy color. Really my first time using art resin on a big project like this. Ended up using, I thought I was going to use 40 ounces, but I think I would have been fine with about 20 ounces total. Use a plastic fork to kind of mix it up. One of the first mistakes that I made with this project was doing it in a room that was relatively cold. You know, I'd say it was about 60 degrees in here. And the resin was a little bit thicker than I liked. Since then, I've read on the internet that when you use art resin, if it's a little too thick, you can put it in hot water and get it to the viscosity to thin out. And as you can tell, like right when I'm pouring it, it's more like a honey. And the problem that I had was it took a lot of time to get between the pencils, and because my form didn't cover the entire pencils, I had a lot leak out, and I made just a massive mess. Alright, with all the resin in, I'll put something on top because the pencils kept lifting up because of buoyancy. And here you go. I was happy with the way it turned out all in all. So I demolded the casting and ready to rock. There is a little nub on the bottom that will actually fit nicely into the little drive center. As I was putting in a live center, I was a little worried because all the pencil tips are still there. I was kind of hoping like it wouldn't shift or anything, but it actually held nicely. It was pretty straight all in all. Although it was hard putting it up because the angle that I put the pencils on was definitely like throwing my eye off. Alright, I'm using a square carbide chisel just to kind of take off the points. As you can see, it was chaos in there. Like, face shield is a must because I had colored pencil points like bouncing everywhere, and when they hit your skin, they hurt. So I probably should have had long sleeves, but oh well. So you can see, like, I'll take down part of the penciled area. I'd say the weirdest thing with turning this piece was, you know, it was like night and day. You had the really soft wood of the pencil, but then you had the resin that was like rock hard. So it was really odd because you felt like you could go fast, but then I didn't want to go too fast because the resin turned nicely. But if you try to rush it, you'll definitely get a catch. And when I was taking the outside layer of resin off, it was like being shot with salt. like a shotgun full of salt. And yeah, it really didn't feel that great on the skin. So in case you're wondering why I basically turned two tenons, my original idea was to make this kind of like a lidded vase. But then I thought that would be kind of boring because I had all these rows of colored pencils, and if I kept it kind of cylinder-like, you wouldn't be able to see, you know, as the colored pencils, like as you went in on an angle, you would cut away certain part of the pencils. And I just felt like that would be like a really big waste if I just kind of, you know, made it a like a lidded pot. I mean, I guess I could have put a regular lid on it, but I don't know. Kind of one of those things I just changed my mind halfway through. Alright, here I go turning the tenon for the, definitely a tenon. I'm going to turn it around because now I think I have a plan. But first I need more paint because, you know, what's a turning project without a little bit of something flying off at Mach 10 and embedding it into your skin? Yep, and it's gone. Yay. My skin is happy. You know, now that the big core of outside of resin is gone, it's so much easier to turn. And I really thought it was just really cool looking. I don't know. It's like seeing hidden secret stuff inside wood. You know, normally we get to see really cool patterns emerge. But you know, with this pencil, it was just so drastic. I kept stopping it, was like, okay, what kind of patterns can I get? I don't know, maybe if you guys at Turner like this, but it's like I have an idea starting out in my head, but then as I'm turning it, I'll see other shapes, and you know, things evolve, but I guess that's kind of the cool thing about art. You'll see me switch tools. I could have did it all with the one carbide tool, but I was also kind of interested to see how other tools reacted. You know, what would give me a better finish. The scraper actually did kind of the worst for me. A lot of tear out, so I just kind of went back to my cutter for the most part. Alright, so this is my first time ever using something to core out the inside. At first I kind of felt like it was cheating, but honestly, man, what a time saver. I love this little thing, this Forstner bit with this Jacob's chuck, or I think that's what it's called. And it really got my depth down really well. And it saved a ton of time and wear and tear on my tools and body. With most of the work done with my simple hollowing tool, I switched over to the easy hollowing tool. It did a really good job. So good in fact that I needed to spray the shavings out quite often because it was just really hard to see. Especially with the shape that I chose, I wanted my wall thickness to be, you know, as good as I could, so definitely had to stop and spray out a lot, but it was worth it. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but I was actually turning this, you know, speed-wise was about 1200 RPM, but as far as my movement was actually really kind of slow. I finished up with this simple tool. Alright, so here's one of my biggest mistakes, was sanding. It started out with a relatively white wood from the pencil, And the sandpaper, more or less, just kind of embedded the colors of the colored pencil into the grain, if that kind of makes sense. It came out with this, I mean, it's nice, but you can definitely tell there was this like green hue starting to develop, which then, by using this Triple E, totally made it about 50 times worse. It like liquefied the color and ended up kind of staining the wood. Right about now, I'm just like, crap, I wish I wouldn't have did that. See that big ugliness of green? I think the next time that I do one of these, what I'm going to do is go from the tooled finish and just apply like a shellac or a lacquer finish. Something that I can spray on, self-leveling, and something that I can buff out to a nice shine. I'm still totally happy with it. I think the inside looks really cool. The outside shows, you know, multiple layers of pencil, so I was definitely happy with that. Here's some of the pictures of the finished product. It's definitely rough by standards, but, you know, I'll take it. Learned a ton from this, between the resin, dealing with resin, and dealing with colored pencils. It was a great project. I hope you guys get a chance to do it, and thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you could share this video, like, subscribe, that'd be awesome. Have a great one.